The Detroit Lions have had a really unique offseason so far, and there's one move in particular that's being just vastly overlooked. I don't know why it's not being talked about more. We'll talk about it in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe because we're going to be going live for the NFL draft, and the NFL draft is really the best time around here with YouTube, just because you get to learn about all the players that we're going to be picking up, and there's going to be a lot of new acquisitions, and it's fun to see, especially what Brad Holmes can do because he's been so successful in his first 3 drafts. Can't wait to see what he does in this draft, as it's different, right? Because before, the Lions been picking up at the top of the first round, and there's a lot of, that's always interesting. But now back 29, which is crazy. They were in the NFC Championship game. I still can't believe it. So interesting to see what he does, how he operates from that position. Still have plenty of picks, so make sure you subscribe. Okay, the interesting part about the offseason was Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, they talked about how the offensive line was the team. That's what they're going to be strong at. That's what they have to be strong at. And so Jonah Jackson leaves for big money. Shout out to him. Cool. But it's like, man, I don't know here. Like, what are we doing? Like, we got an empty whole Vitae at the guard position. We don't have a guard. Like, what the heck? So the Lions go out and sign Kevin Zeitler, and he is so good that we're like, well, he's older, cool, good. No. Check this out. The writer on Lions Wire has covered him since his days in Cincinnati. And I've heard the name, but now that I see some of the stats and what he's done throughout his career and how he's still strong, even this far into his career, he was taken in the 2012 draft. It's crazy, and it's going to make our offensive line should be even better because Jonah Jackson had injury problems. Graham Glasgow, he's older as well, but he was so consistent and so strong that our offensive line should be better than it has been all since Brad Holmes got here. And that's one of the strengths of this team since Brad Holmes was here. And when he took over, it was like, everything's a mess, but the offensive line's not bad. Then he adds Penei Sewell. The rest is history. But let's take a look at this. The biggest thing that stands out for Zeitler is that his consistency. The same player you get in week 2 is who you get in week 16, week 17 every single year. He was a first-round pick out of Wisconsin. Love that, Wisconsin. Back when they were like offensive line U too. Remember back in 2012 when they had that one coach? I can see him, but let me know in the comments, who was the coach of Wisconsin 2012, 2013? Paul Christ. Thank you so much. Zeitler started right away from the Bengals team that made the playoffs all 4 years that he was there. It allowed him to get a contract with the Browns for a record-setting $60 million back then. So he goes to Cleveland 2 seasons. He was almost boring to watch. He was good to be very good heads-up pass protector with great technique. He was going to be effective as a run blocker. He was going to pick up second-level rushers. He was going to get on. Okay, even on a winless Browns team in 2017, he only had 2 bad games. Okay, so he goes on to write about him and how he's just like this consistent guy, the whole thing. Now, let's talk about criticism, and then we'll get into why this is such a good move and why it got vastly overlooked in the offseason, is that he doesn't have good range, meaning when he's pulling or when he's going up to the second level, he's not as fast as like Penei Sewell, right? Penei's just, it makes you appreciate Penei Sewell. That's not really his strength, but he's consistent. He plays. He's a great run blocker, great pass blocker, but his mobility may be lacking. Now, why is this so important for the Lions? We know that we have a 2-headed monster in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs didn't even really figure it out till halfway through the season last year. His second year, I mean, he's going to be a weapon that teams cannot let slip by, or he's going to take it 60 yards. We have not had that since Barry Sanders. No team has that. Or no team, I shouldn't say no team, but it's hard to find Chris Johnson, Barry Sanders. I mean, are you kidding me? That's what we have in Jahmyr Gibbs. It's crazy. So we've got that guy that can take it the distance. You've got David Montgomery who can take it the distance. Show that against the Chargers. So you've got 2-headed monster running backs. If you can run the ball, are you kidding me? In the National Football League, because teams cannot let you just keep running the ball on them. That's when other resources come up from the safety position, and Jared Goff is a play action master. I mean, he is just so good at that, and he's only getting better. Ben Johnson knows it, plays to his strengths. Lions are off and running. That's the second point is you have to have a good offensive line in front of Jared Goff because he gets in trouble and makes mistakes when he tries to improvise. And he tries to improvise when there's leaks in the offensive line. And he can't. Like he literally cannot. It's what makes us frustrated with Jared Goff because Jared Goff is really, 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 really good. And he's into his prime of his career. So why do people dog him? Well, it's because about one play a game, it's like the craziest, worst thing I've ever seen. He's stumbling around. He's can't get away from pressure. Some guy comes from nowhere to just tackle him and he fumbles and they scoop and score, right? It's like there's always that. So you just have to protect him, run the ball, play action, St. Brown, Sam Laporta. Like offensively, with a good offensive line, the weapons, Jared Goff, it's the strength of the team yet again. We know defensively there's enough improvement there. You look for some guys like Aiden Hutchinson on their second, third year, some of the younger guys that can come out and really play well, and hopefully the defense will just be better. Then all of a sudden, the Lions are back in the NFC Championship game. Like it's crazy, and that's crazy how quickly they went from terrible to like really good, and we expect to win. So this is a huge signing that had to happen, and we had to get better on the or not even better, stay the same offensive line wise, and then get better. Hopefully through the draft where we get some depth and we just feel good about our offensive line because Ragnow's injury prone, not even injury prone. He's just a warrior that gets injured because he just does. And so we got to watch out for that. Taylor Decker's older. I mean, he's getting older. Penei Sewell's an absolute all-time type of player. We knew that at the time. I remember when we drafted him, he was like 19 and he was like a junior and he didn't play. He opted out because of COVID. So it was like he was a stud at Oregon and didn't even and then the first game we're like actually a couple days before the game we went yet left tackle against Joey Bosa. Or no, it was Nick Bosa. And he was just great. And you're like, what? This guy's like just turned 20. And it's like, what is this guy? So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. Love the pickup. And just, I mean, this team's going to be good yet again. So subscribe. We'll see you at the draft, and we'll see all of you on the next one.